Hello, my name is Carina and I love to draw. And I recently finished this sketchbook. I thought I would give you a tour of it. Nothing on the first page. I usually draw something on the first page. I'm not sure why I didn't this time. So some tulips from my husband. So this sketchbook, I started it in November 2025 and then I finished in June 2026. So we were, over Christmas 2025, we were in Denmark and we drove there. So I have some very quick drawings from on the way. We took the shuttle train across under the English Channel, and just some various random things. And this is in an outdoor museum in my hometown in Denmark called Den Gamle By, the old town. So, sticker here from it. So this is a collection of old buildings from around Denmark that have been put together in this outdoor space to make up a little town where you can walk through the history of Danish buildings, which is really quite fun. And I saved a little map here, and you get from the oldest part, and then quite new here, I think it goes up to the 1990s or something like that. And it was a cold day, so we had a hot drink. And this is at my parents' house. Christmas tree. And then we were on our way back, and I did the same thing with the little splotches that I filled with random things. I knew that I probably wouldn't have much time or energy to do big drawings on the drives to and from Denmark, so just made these little ones. It's quite fun as well. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. My husband bought a Brompton bike, which I drew not very well, but that's fine because he sold it a few weeks later. He didn't like it. And this is in our living room. Little plant cutting. Unfortunately, it didn't survive enough to be a proper plant. And here's a little handmade brush that I bought. Really like her work, Rosa Harradine. And I bought a scarf that, of course, I had to draw. It's quite the challenge because of all the stripes and lots of different colors. It's quite fun though. And a quick drawing at the Dulwich Picture Gallery in South London. It was my first visit there. I think I probably won't go back in a hurry because it was quite a long trip to get there. I think I had to I took a train from where we live, and then I had to get 2 buses. But if there's a special exhibition on, I will make the trip. It's a random flower from our garden. Trying out some pencils. More tulips. Tulips are one of my favourite flowers. In March we went to Edinburgh for a week and we drove there as well. And because it's quite a long drive, on the way up to Edinburgh from where we live in Essex, we had a stop overnight, and this church was right outside the hotel where we were staying. But I didn't have time to do a proper drawing. And this was in a place where we charged our car. And here we have the Angel of the North. And I had pre-painted this page, so I didn't know that that was what I was going to draw on there. But I think that actually worked out quite well. The angel is a sort of rust colour, and although this is not a rust colour, I think it works well. Again, I didn't have long to draw this, so it is just a quick scribble with a brush pen, but I quite like that. Sometimes it's good to not have time to overthink things. And this was a vegan cafe near where we were staying, and we went there I think 3 times in, I think we were there for 6 days. It's very nice. Nice hot chocolate and nice croissants. And one evening we drove down to see the sunset at the bridges, at the 4th bridges, but the clouds were in the way, so we didn't really see much of the sunset, which would have been over this way. So instead I just drew the iconic rail bridge, which I actually went across a few days later, or maybe it was even the next day, I can't remember. I met up with a friend and we took the train to Dundee, where we saw an exhibition at the V&A. And then we were supposed to, or we wanted to go home earlier than the trains we'd booked, but they wouldn't let us, so we had to find somewhere to wait for an hour or whatever. And luckily my friend knew about this art center, maybe, so we sat there and did some drawing and some chatting, so that was fine. And this is the view from the place where we were staying. And we went to a little town in Curros in Fife, just across the Firth of Forth, or the Forth of Firth. I can never remember what it is called. And Curros has these old buildings, and it's used in a famous series that I can't remember the name of. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. Anyway, just up the hill from the town itself, there is this abbey, or the ruins of an abbey. And I did a little quick sketch. This is on the way back from Edinburgh. We stopped again to refuel the car, or to charge it. And when we came back from Edinburgh, the tulips were in bloom in our garden, which made me very happy. And then we went to see an exhibition about samurai at the British Museum. It was very busy, and it was quite dark, so it was difficult to make any sort of detailed drawings, but it was fun anyway. I drew this little plate, really caught my eye. It was very striking blue and white, and it had this sort of crescent moon. And this is supposed to, I think, be the rest of the moon, of course. And I think Japanese people, they see a hare or a rabbit in the moon. And I thought it was quite lovely that they had that. And again, just quick drawings because there was too many people. I met a friend and we had some delicious vegan pasta. And again, just a very quick drawing, just watercolor splotches and then a bit of pencil on top. This is an oak tree near where we live. I have drawn this tree many times. I refer to it as my tree. And this is an old deconsecrated church that's been converted into a house. And my family actually stayed there when they came to visit. And this is the view, or a part of the view of Kent from the end of the pier at Southend. And this is in the garden of the church. And my little niece was drawing. And this is her toy. And we went into London with them. We went on one of these touristy sightseeing tours, which was quite fun. I've never done that before in London, although I've lived here. Well, I don't live in London, but I live close enough. And I've lived here for 21 years almost. And then after we did the sightseeing on the bus, we got on a boat that took us down the Thames from Westminster Pier to, where would that have been? I think it was Tower of London. And as the boat was turning around, I just had time to draw the Elizabeth Tower. And then a couple of days later we went to see the Tower of London itself. Just another quick drawing. There's quite a lot of pylons where we live, and I don't think I've ever drawn them, so I thought, oh, I'll do that. And this is at my father-in-law's birthday party. And drew some peonies with these markers that I really like. I haven't got one here, which are, I think they're actually meant to be for calligraphy, but I really like them to draw with. I love peonies. I think that is my favorite flower. And the last drawing is my teapot, or one of my teapot drawings. You may have seen the previous video. I'll link to that in the description, where I've been drawing teapots, well, just the one teapot, many times, which is quite fun. So yeah, that is Sketchbook 4. Got some stickers on the back as well. And I'm ready to start the next one. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. Maybe give it a follow my channel as well. I hope you have a great day.